if Mom lets us do that. Maybe we'll just stop here before it does two little things. 2-year-old, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old having a wonderful game. Let's go down the little track that heads to the hyena, the old hyena den. I don't think that hyena den is active anymore. But if we go down there and we sit quietly, I'm sure the Ellies will get used to us and they'll let us watch the babies. Female is getting a little bit concerned, but let's take it slow. We don't want to disturb them. We don't want to force them on. We want them to just... Can you see over this little bush to the children? Oh, let me go forward a little bit because we'd want to watch those babies play a little bit. The bigger one is getting bullying a little bit, bullying the smaller one. Morning, everybody. And the blue feather in my hat is from a lilac-breasted roller. Let's move down a little. Hello, Miss Lily. Hello, Mrs. Ellie. This is my matriarch, I'm pretty sure, this big girl that's here. Okay, I'm stopped. I'll be quiet. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to trouble you, girl. That's a little bit of a muck charge. Just a, I guess a warning. She's not too sure what we plan to do, but if we sit quietly, she'll relax. There she goes to feeding again. Is that what you think of me, huh? Brenda was asking about Ellies. Do they ever take a load off their feet? Do they ever lie down or squat? The youngsters do, definitely. The youngsters tend to they lie down and sleep. She's really not pleased. That head throw is doesn't really need much explanation. It pretty much speaks for itself. Madam, you can't back up anymore. You've got a tree behind you. Three little ones playing now. I don't know if they'll just move so that we can see them, not hide behind the tree. The youngsters lie down. During the heat of the day, you'll find a herd like this. You'll find a big marula tree or a fairly large tree to stand under. The adults won't lie down. They'll kind of lock their elbows and knees and doze off for a short while. There have been times where I've had adult bulls sleeping, but they require soft sand. They need certain conditions to be able to sleep lying down. But sleep also, one has to remember that for an elephant that has to be pretty much processing food all the time, sleep is it's not the same for them as it is for us. They can doze off for a few minutes. Those little ones are so cute. If only we could just get to see them better. Big mama. Gosh, John in California is asking a very difficult question. What is my most amazing elephant encounter? We could just move and try and see those babies play. What just happened was just right behind a tree. I can't even think, John. I find it's a very difficult thing for me to single out in certain things like that. Having lived with them pretty much most of my life, I have elephant encounters almost daily. My most memorable. That's a difficult question. Little one investigating the road. And that must be Big Sister that it's at. I wonder if they'll go into that termite mound. A couple of years ago, this termite mound was quite significant because Karula had her cubs in the hole. You can't really see the hole, but there's a patch of grass sort of right in the middle of that termite mound that actually has a deep hole in it, more or less right in front of where that cow is standing now, where the tip of her tusks and where her trunk is. She's now feeding on the grasses. That was the mouth of that hole. The hyena den was active, and it was quite strange that she actually had her cubs here, Shavinzi and Shivambalana, so close to the hyena den. We saw her come out of there one day. We didn't see, I don't recall seeing the cubs here, but we did see her carrying things from, well, she was seen carrying something from here. And then I think it was a week or two later that we saw her for the first time with the two cubs. I think if I have to think of some of the memorable encounters I've had, I used to live with a couple of bull elephants that were permanent residents of a camp I was running in Tanzania in the Sulu Game Reserve. Resident bulls that I got to know very well. They got to know me, and one bull in particular, who we called Joseph, was a fantastic big bull. And I had a lot of interactions with him. Little one stretching its trunk to smell the matriarch. You can see how she's now going to actually use her tail to feel where the calf is. Often they'll do that. They don't see very well directly behind them, but they use the tail and their back legs to feel. And now she's turning her head, she'll see the little one. I can remember Tay one day in the Okavango Delta. I was in between two camps. My camp, I was running a wet camp, which was a camp on its own little island, and my brother was running the sister camp on the mainland. It was a 3-hour boat ride between the two, and I was between the two. I was in one of the very narrow channels with quite tall papyrus on either side, and there were two elephant bulls playing in the water, and they were really playing. They were tussling and pushing each other under and having a ball. And I stopped upstream and switched the engine off, and I started drifting down towards them. And then as I got a lot closer, and then because it was in such a narrow channel, they couldn't really get out of the channel very easily, and I couldn't. The only way I would be able to do anything was starting up the engine and moving back upstream, but the engine wouldn't start. It was flooded. And I remember this little flat-bottomed aluminium boat drifting down almost into these two bulls playing, and they both stuck their head up out of the water. They didn't know I was there. They'd been so engrossed in each other. And suddenly they looked up when I was almost on top of them, and all I could do was apologize profusely for barging in on them like that. But they both moved aside, and I drifted past, got a head shake out of both of them because they were a little bit upset, and then went on my way. There was also an elephant that lived in camp in the Okavango, and he used to come and lie down, and he would dig a depression right next to my tent, at the entrance to my tent, and his trunk would actually curl onto the ground sheet of the tent, and I used to sleep on the floor. I had a mattress on the floor, and I remember matching his breathing on many occasions, where he would be stretched out, which was very unusual for a big bull, but he would sleep for a while, and I would lie there and listen to him in the moonlight. And we'd talk to each other. Okay, what I think I'd like to do is go around to the other side of the drainage line. Looks like they were heading towards Rebecca's Road, and if we go over there, we'll actually get a nice view from the drainage line that Seb got stuck in one day. Ward in Tennessee was asking a question about elephant communication. Do they communicate in tones that we can't hear? Yes, they do. It wouldn't really be tones, okay? It would be more, it's a frequency. It's just sound waves. That's very, very low frequencies. And in the human audible range, our deepest sounds are perhaps some of the higher audible sounds. Except for trumpeting, of course. I'm talking about them rumbling and vocalizing. So some of their higher tones, higher notes are the ones that we can hear. But their very, very low, long-distance rumbles are inaudible. They can be felt. Funny enough, women tend to feel them a lot easier than men. But there is, sometimes you can feel it in your chest. You can feel this vibration. Or injure the youngsters, and if so, what do they do about it? I don't want to start the engine because I don't want to change things, but the little one is drinking and Mom's just standing quietly, but I'm just going to have to move a little forward for us and hope that she doesn't pull away from the car. Is that good? Memories of an elephant between the front legs. I've never seen it, Dawn. I have been around breeding herds and big herds of elephants, and I've never seen. I see there's another calf drinking up ahead. The other little one that was playing with this one, drinking from her mother, and now Big Mama deciding that it's enough. The little one's trying to run after her from the other side, trying to get in. Thirsty mommy. They do ella suckles.